In Matthew 24, Jesus reveals a timeline of events leading up to his second coming and the end of the age. He closes the first section of this timeline with the words, "All these are the beginning of birth pangs." From verse 5 through 7, he highlights the characteristics of this beginning of birth pangs. There are false Christs, wars and rumors of wars, nation rising against nation, famines, pestilences, and earthquakes. But this section called beginning of birth pangs suggests that there are more birth pangs to come. For if there is a beginning of birth pangs, surely there must be an ending of birth pangs. The thing about birth pangs is that they increase in intensity as well as in regularity. In other words, as the birth pangs progress, or labor pains, they become more painful and quicker in succession. But Christ wasn't the only one who made mention of birth pangs. In Romans chapter 8 verse 22, Paul reveals that the whole of creation groans in labor pains up till now. In other words, even up to the time of the early church and continuing, the whole of creation is still groaning in the pains of labor. Previously in verse 19, Paul had already mentioned what or who is to be born at the end of the labor process. He says it is the manifestation or the revealing of the sons of God. Also in verse 23, he makes mention of the fact that we also who have the first fruits of the Spirit, we also groan or labor inwardly, waiting for the adoption, that is the redemption of the body. Now, when we compare both scriptures, we find out that the whole world is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. And we who have the first fruits of the Spirit, we are waiting for the redemption of our bodies. Same thing. So what the world is birthing is what we are expecting or anticipating. Therefore, by comparing scripture with scripture, we find out that these scriptures in the book of Romans tally with the scripture in Matthew chapter 24. So the whole timeline of events in Matthew chapter 24 is a whole sequence or a succession of birth pangs that will end in the manifestation of the sons of God. That is what we call the resurrection, or what people call the rapture. This ends or concludes part 1.